Hey, Peter here, and today we're going to talk about my favorite aspect of marketing, and it's objectively the most important one, the secret sauce, which is copywriting. Now, before I start, this is a very, copywriting is a very deep topic, in my personal opinion, especially if you actually study that language, the language of copywriting. And I'm going to say some things that I probably won't be able to explain in this video, like, for example, the usage of AI, in most cases, it actually does more bad than good. Okay, I'm not saying AI is a bad thing. I'm just saying that the majority of people don't know how to use it. Okay, and the reason for that is because copywriting it's a very specific way of writing. Okay, all right. So the first thing I want to talk about here, and again, this goes a little bit more related to the usage of AI, is the fact that I'm starting to notice that e-com brands and also some info brands, info businesses, they are kind of starting to, transforming themselves into a content writing business. Like, they don't do copywriting anymore. They do content writing. They only talk about the product, the benefits of the product. That's the brand itself, the founder. That's all they talk about, right? They only talk about themselves, and they don't talk directly to the customer. They don't talk about the customer, because copywriting is just basically the art of getting inside someone's heads. And just saying that, it is not easy, especially if you're doing through words. It is easier if you're talking with someone in live. It's harder if you're doing it with text. I mean, that can be another, another topic for discussion, but that's what I personally think. Because I've done sales before, and I think sales is more about practice than, because it just comes out naturally, than actually understanding everything behind it. Because copy is also about practicing, but it requires more understanding, in my opinion. All right? Okay. So, let's start specifically talking about ecom. Okay, so the emails that you're currently looking at are from a brand called Magic Mind. You probably have heard of them. And the reason why I'm showing you these emails, it's because they're good. In fact, they're my favorites. Braz, you probably know Braz as well. They also do really good emails. And you can see that they're both very similar. I mean, I would go to say that they're exactly the same. They just change the theme of the email, right? And the background. But they're basically pretty much the same. And the thing I want to talk about here is going again back to copy. Because when you're doing a design email, it's very hard for you to talk directly to your customer or to get inside your customer's head. You can only use justification when you're doing these kinds of emails, because in this case, you're going to mostly talk about or justify the reason why your product is the best. Okay, now, again, this is another topic for discussion. I think that what I'm about to say, it's not entirely truth, it's just an opinion, and an opinion is an opinion. Okay, but I personally think that it's harder to speak with someone that already knows you than it is to speak with someone that doesn't know you. All right? So what I'm saying basically here is it's easier to write copy for cold traffic than it is to warm traffic. Okay? Very simple. Now, if you want to, I was going to talk about something else, but because if you want to talk with someone that already knows you, you need to bring so many aspects to the table. You need to bring honesty, appreciation, humor. You need to bring the factor that the reader can feel like you understand them. You need to get inside the customer's head. There's so many things, because again, first you need to acquire the customer, and once the customer already likes and trusts you to a certain level, that's why they subscribe to your list. Now you need to get them to a higher level of trust. And that to me is the most difficult part, all right? Because, in most cases, people just unsubscribe, right? In most cases. And that's why it's very difficult to, you know, how do I say this? Increase the LTV of your customer, okay? Generally. I'm talking about things that are not like 100% factual or literal, but I'm trying to bring it in a way that you can understand, all right? So, if you want to get inside your customer's head, you need to write emails that both have an internal and external impact, okay? And the only way you can have the most internal impact is with a text-based email. And the best way you can have an external impact is by also sending a text-based email. But here's the catch, and this is what I do, okay? So I would say that 90 to 95% of my emails are design emails, and the rest are text-based emails. And that's what I mean by the external impact, because when people are not used to receiving text-based emails, like, they're going to pay attention at what you're sending them, and it's just going to like create a different impact as well inside them. Okay, so let's go over this email a little bit. And by the way, this email absolutely crushed it. I mean, most of my text-based emails crush because, like I said, I rarely send them. And I see text-based email for ecom as kind of like investing. You need to send them at the right time. And like, generally speaking, the less you send, the more impact they will have, okay? Michael's secret discount. Another thing. I like to use emotes or emojis, whatever you want to call them, and usually I use emojis for this, right? And depends on the email, but in most cases I don't use for this. I also, in some cases, change the name of the sender, okay? Just tell you that, just so that you know. Michael's secret discount. Hey, Michael here from brand, so I probably shouldn't be doing this. Curiosity. Also, subject line is a little bit curious as well. I think this is more curious than the subject line, but still. But hey, sometimes you gotta hook up the people who actually read the emails. Appreciation. So, I'm giving you a 15% off code, Mike. You can notice that even the code itself, Mike, it just feels natural. Like, you have no effort to it. Like, it has nothing to do with the brand. Like, it feels natural. Use it, grab it. I forgot to say one thing. Usually, I always put the first name here, but in this case, it's not, okay? Use it, grab that thing you've been eyeing on, and maybe I'll even get a promotion for this. Or fire it. We'll see. So, this is kind of like a way, I'm putting my position on the line, so you better use the code, right? A little bit like that. Shop with code Michael, probably in trouble, staff guy at brand. And the magic button. Now the magic, obviously the meme itself, like this is, I don't see people doing this, and this just fucking crushes, like it annihilates, basically. And in most cases, people never seen this meme before. I am someone that knows all the memes, if you know what I mean. I'm that kind of guy. So I use very specific ones that people are gonna laugh at and they're gonna love, okay? But yeah, I want to talk about these magic buttons. So this is basically, and the first brand I saw you doing this was Brass, okay? Brass is a brand that does emails very similar to this. This is Magic Mike, by the way. And this is what I want to get into, because I see a lot of people, especially on ecom, they focus more on tactics. So tactics and tricks, rather than actually understanding the fundamentals. And it's so sad because, like, that is a recipe for disaster. But in this case, like, this shit, like the magic button trick, quote unquote, like, it does work because like, I've got some emails with more click rates without it, I have to be honest. But generally speaking, this does work. Like, I have to admit. So yeah, you should You should do this not on every email because it becomes repetitive, but in some of the emails. It depends on the context as well. So yeah, hope you liked this video. Hope you found it valuable. And yeah, again, I will say that copywriting is, the most difficult aspect of marketing. I mean, it's the main aspect of marketing as well. And it's the most difficult because it's the language of convincing people to do a certain action. And, it sounds simple and all, but man, the more I study, especially the OGs of copywriting, right? The more I study it, the more I realize why good copy is expensive, So yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and wish you an amazing rest of the day.